Alright, folks, welcome back. It is day 73 with Duolingo Chinese. 欢迎大家好. Welcome. Okay, Unit 19. Yesterday I spent some overtime on trying to connect all the vocabulary together. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be rough. But we'll try our best. It got really late, so I was quite a bit exhausted. Under duress. Unit 19. So it's about describing location. So okay. So let's start with go with uh-oh. No, wait. Is that really it? Actually, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go with it. We'll see later. So 在房间 right? 在房子在房yeah 房子房 That doesn't quite look right. Probably something else. Haven't written that character in a while. Actually, I think I know what the radical is. Hold up. Yeah, it looks better. Oh, 在房子 冰箱 Yeah, 冰箱 What do you mean was disappointed? Oh, because you were expecting Bing chilling. Listen, no Bing chilling. Okay. Show, 笑，笑，笑。Yeah, we're struggling. Yesterday was a speed run, or like not really speed run. Yesterday was a desperate thing to hold on to the information. I think dang is what I'm looking. Ding dong. No. No. That's not what I'm looking for. Ding something. Ding. You passed out during the Chinese lesson. I don't blame you. Ding. Yeah, ding something. We'll put a box. Why? Why? No, why? Why? Oh, wait. I know what it is. Thanks to why. Hehehe. Wow. The way memory works, I tell ya. Ding wei. Ding, yeah, ding wei. Ding wei. And then I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. So why? And then Yuan. Yuan. I'm just gonna keep going this way. Oh no. Oh wait. I got it. Qing Jin 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 Jin. Oh, actually, Wen. 一位 引进 Okay. Eats. Eats. Oops. And 桌子 yeah 桌子 看英文菜单 right. I'm pretty sure I missed quite a lot of things, but this is the story I've concocted. I'm not gonna throw in what we ordered though. Is there anything? There are 8 characters we must cover. And then an extra one. So that's an extra one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we covered all the new characters. So now we're just embellishing old characters. I don't remember all the vocabulary that we got. 这次我Maidan? I could use CSP, right? CSP. You mean like the input? Actually, don't know what CSP stands for. Oh, Clip Studio Paint? No, I do not. I use Krita. Clip Studio Paint. Got it. Yeah, I use Krita for everything. And then for like rendering and stuff, I kind of know a little bit about Blender. I haven't really done too much like 3D modeling. And then for like video editing and all that stuff, I use DaVinci Resolve. Not that I do a lot of video editing as well. I haven't really. But usually it's all the freeware. I wish there was a way to send brushes from CSP to Krita. Interesting. There's a lot of so the Krita devs, right? The Krita devs have all their specific things, and since Krita is kind of like Duolingo, or actually Krita is kind of like Anki, I guess. You have a bunch of developers that have a particular style brushes, but in the long run, I just use default brushes. I do all my texturing with like the default brushes. So most of the time, the brush is pretty alright. I don't usually think about brush loading and whatnot. Although there are quite a lot of creators that mirror all the stuff. So you might be able to find like, hey, I want these Clip Studio brush, Clip Studio paintbrush in Krita. You can probably find that in a pack or something. Okay, this is all I got. I think we're good. I don't think I need more than this. There are additional things that we could add. Like, for example, positions. Since we're talking about locations, right? We got Li. We got Li. Xiang. Xia. And positions go after the object. So positions go after the object or the location is the grammar point. here. And that's about it. I think that's the main grammar point. Okay, so Unit 18. Unit 18. I have no idea what you... Oh, it's payment. Okay. I feel like there might be an ad... There are other, like, predicates and stuff in there. But we covered all the new characters. That's good enough. Unit 18. And the topic. Unit 18, payment. So... the expression 这家买 again. 一共 1天百十块毛分直收收 Oh, no. It's not payment. It's the wrong unit. That's the wrong unit. Wrong unit. That's unit 17 actually. I did this before. It's TV and films things. So what's a good narrative? Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, and I forgot a character yesterday, so I gotta remember that too. Xiang. Gan. Xiang gan 什么? Right. 做 Yon is what reminded me. I was about to write a 信用卡 and I realized that's the wrong unit. That's how the memory works. Yep. Kan. This is the thing I forgot. And it's still tough. Bao zhi, bao zhi. Bao zhi. That's okay. 新闻，新闻，新闻，新闻。体育，体育，节目，跟 devices 用 and means, right? 向往，手机，手机，手机。号码，电视，电影，哪个？韩国，韩国，明星， Honeydew has given me a kanji I recently learned. Oh, Fujisan? Yeah, Fujisan. I think that's my narrative for Unit 18. Yeah, more or less. Alright, let's go see what I dropped. It's still really tough for Baozhi. Alright, let's go look. What's the damage? Okay. Okay. Gun. Baozhi. No, that's fine. Xingwen. 节目 体育电视电影向往想什么做手机用号码明星韩国哪个 This morning I considered if ma could have the meaning of nay but it's not, and animal noises are rarely that easy. Oh, okay. that's kind of funny. Moo, meow, etc. are all more complex. I think the only one that works is bleat. I don't know what bleat is. Or bleat? Oh, sheep. Oh. Okay. So we have 小桌子小椅子位几位 is not here, but 几位 and 定位 y just a position, so y 向下 and 买单菜单按键 I don't know. 键 is somewhere. Maybe 键 we could put 键服务员 Oh, I screwed up. Oh, did I screw up? I think I screwed up. Oh, I forgot. I've got 电菜 for I wrote it once and then I forgot to include it. That's okay. It's forgetting. 电菜 for ordering. Oops. 电菜服务员键 at okay, 买单定位 y 向下 those are all positions. So on is just another verb we can use in this situation. 英文菜单 英文菜单okay, 房子 maybe 房间 oh wait I don't have 房间. Oh yeah, I do have 房间. I don't know why they chose 房间, but I could incorporate 间 instead of 字. Sure. 房间. Oh, because of location. Because of location. 房间 was a place. And then 冰. Oh, that yeah, that other character is not available. 箱冰箱 冰箱 冰箱 I forgot I've got 一下 You would think it'd be that. Yeah, 一下 I've got about 一下 for like a moment. 一下 Let's go with this. 桌子桌子椅子静 where is it? 请静详 where 详 and then 在 like 在房间 maybe 这 what the heck did they use 这 for? And there's like boo is like 不见 is like 不见 I mean 这 like oh this is it 这次我买单 was the expression 找 Li is a position. So what are we can we incorporate? 间 as opposed to 字 间 sure as a place. 店 definitely this. 电菜 not too much. Maybe 见服务员. We'll see if we can pick up any other contextual things that we can talk about. Yeah, we got most of it. Interestingly enough, I was really tired. I was really tired yesterday. Alright, 5 lessons on the docket. Let's go.
我看见了你的孩子。
我看见你的孩子. Oh, okay. Wow, this is just completely unrelated to... Oh, hi. Okay, they put 这 just picked a bunch. Okay, 我看见你的... Man, it's pretty random. This part is pretty... So, we want to include this scenario. It's fine. 你... 我看见 oh that's where probably the 见 came from. 我看见了 oh 看见了 that explains the 2. 看见了 we can mix it with our menu as opposed to the other way around. Okay, 我看见了我看见了你的孩子。
电脑在桌子上。
电脑在桌对在桌 yeah 桌子上。
桌子上，电脑在桌子上。
电脑在桌子上。Oh. And they did pick up random objects, which are not listed as recurring. Okay.
他的书在椅子下。
他的书在椅子下。他的书在椅子下。Okay.
椅
猫在椅子上。
猫在椅子下。I guess we can take like random objects and put them below and above, under and above the tables and chairs, I suppose. It's not necessary to pick up random. I could think about the house, so, and then do that. Combine the two units. Sure. The cat is on the chair. 椅子上。
找
咖啡在桌子上。
咖啡在桌子上。
桌子上。
桌子
咖啡在桌子上。
上。I had a lot of trouble with 桌 but we're fine.
你的孩子在桌子下。
你的孩子在桌子上。桌子下。Wait a minute, that's kind of weird.
桌子下。你的孩子在桌子下。
桌子下。Your child is under the table. I guess a tiny child. 七
找
whoops. Oh, I think I said 小 the 小。I might have said 小 so 脚
马桌
电影。椅子。游戏。
喜欢
买。
画
画。对。
椅去找桌
你找谁？
找谁？
你找谁？
桌子
电视。
Yeah, it's so much. It's so different the following day, which is nice. Very rewarding. Very rewarding.
新闻
玩
椅子
Have you seen my cell phone?
你
你看见 I should write a note about 看见。你看见我的手机吗？
手机吗？
你看到了，你看见了，你看见了我的手机吗？我看见了，我看见了你的孩子。你教 什么？你叫
在
你 ，whoops，
在你
你叫
找什么？在
Oh, what are you looking for? 你在叫什么？Okay, all right.
两位，
两位 ，no, two
两位，
peeps.
牛奶在冰箱里吗？
牛奶dang it. I get, you describe things in the refrigerator, and then maybe like things around the kitchen to add to the little like position with 猫 and stuff. 猫 and 孩子 little story. 牛奶在冰箱 yeah 冰箱里吗？冰箱里吗？ and then that integrates the 里 or like a place marker. Oh, like a place indicator. It's the milk in the fridge. Oh, I guess
里
in. Yeah. We'll clump it with 上下 y and 里. Actually,
里
is it still like 里 as in
我们一共10位，
我们一共10位 Oh,
一共
that's a great
一共
way to use 一共 again.
我们
我们
一共
10位
10位，
It's a big party.
我们一共10位，
10位2位
两位，请看一下。
请看一下 Yeah, we got 一下请看请看一下
一下
请看一下看一下一下
下
一下
谁在房间外？
谁
在
在
房间外。
OK
谁在房间外？
position
冰箱里有什么？
冰箱里有什么？冰箱里有什么 Yeah, what's in the refrigerator?
他们在学校外，
他们在学校外学校外
他们
他们在学校外
学校
学校
外
outside
他们在学校外，
Okay, right 请看
一下
一下想我在房间外
房间外
位桌
多 man 多
香外位
以
外位香桌找外
sleeping
他们
他们都在
在
在睡OK， 他们都在房间睡觉，房间里睡觉，
房间
里睡觉。What the heck?
睡觉
That's more of a nuance. That's more of a grammar thing, and I'm a lot more used to hearing it that way already. I think it would be a little bit weirder if it was from someone who doesn't listen to Chinese or speaks some form of similar grammar structure. That one, anyways. Who's outside the room? 谁在房间外？
谁在房间外
Yeah, it would be so weird to hear the position before the direct object, before the location. I tried that yesterday. I was like, got 你老婆. That sounds so weird. That's like saying the outside house, like the house that is on the outside, which admittedly you can probably still say that, but it's not the same as being outside the house. So 你got right? So the position is always after the location. Otherwise, if you put it before, it would indicate that it's describing the house a lot of times. And in English, it's not the case because those are considered prepositions. And prepositions can start prepositional phrases. So it can be before or after, or anywhere actually in a sentence a lot of times. It's distinctively very alien when the order is not preserved in that one. So it's one of those examples, actually. One of the fewer examples in Chinese that, that's really weird if it's in a different position. It kind of changes the meaning entirely.
我不想进。我
不想进。我不想进。我不想。
不想进。
我们想坐在这里。
我们想坐在 you know, I didn't 坐在这里。I could put it right before 桌子 and 椅子坐 that's not listed either. 坐我们想坐在这里。
老师说请进。
老师说 what? 请进。
请进。
Okay. 老师说请进。We could do like 服务员说请进 or something to fill in the this restaurant scenario.
请等一下。
请等一下. Oh yeah, that's the one. Dung is missing. And we talked about it because it has relations. Dung. Okay, I have a place where I can place it, I suppose. 请等一下. Nope, just kidding. Yeah, there's 请看一下. 请等一下.请坐. Yeah, just
请坐。
你们想坐在哪里？
你们想坐在哪里？坐在哪里？
你们
你们
想
想
坐在
坐在哪里？
哪里？
早
Oops，
单
当
请在这里等。
请在这里等。Oh, did I write done incorrectly? Oh, maybe I haven't. Done. There's a chance I might have run done incorrectly.
请在这里等。
请在
请在
这里
这里等。
Done is just completely missing. And there's some grammar points for 这 and 拿 maybe even 香 and 啥 li, maybe, I don't know, but li is being used as a position or the location, which could be 这 like nondescript position.
进
请进。
请进 yeah. 等
等
你
你会说英文吗？maybe 英语吗 ？Because we're talking about speaking, so 你会说英语
吗？
英语吗？
香等以进单
OK， 你们有英文菜单吗
我们
？Oops，
你们有
有
英文
英文
菜单吗？
进
位
单
等
香
My eyeballs need hydration. 对不起，我们没有英文菜单。
对不起
对不起，
我们
没有
没有
没有英文菜单。
英文菜单
对，请等，请这里等，请这里等，
请
请
这里
在这里，
在
请在这里等。
等
That's kind of a grammar point too, actually.
我想点菜。
我想点菜。我想点菜。What？ 我想点菜。Oh,
点菜。
right, order.
我的妈妈定位了。
我的妈妈定位了。Okay. 定位。
我们要买单。
我的要买单。Yeah.
我们
我们要
买单。
Okay.
我们要买单。
We want to check.
我们想定位。
我们的 Sorry. The moment I said we, I wasn't sure if I said we or women. Like sometimes I forget. So occasionally when I'm talking and I'm thinking in Chinese and stuff, sometimes I say woman instead of we, and they're basically the same. I mean they are the same, but when I think back, I'm not sure if I said we or women, and what I really was trying to say. Was I was trying to say in English or Mandarin? 我们想电位，我们想电位，
定
定位，
服务员买单，服
服务
务员
员买单。
买单，
Yeah, asking the waiter for check. 物 Oh no, 物
物
服务员，我们要点菜。
服务员，我们要点菜。
我们要点
点
菜。
菜。You want to order? 服
服饭馆的电话号码是多少？我要定位。
我要定位。饭馆的电话号码是多少？是多少？我要定位。Oh, okay. Sure. That's fine too. I want to book a table. Sure.
元
我想点菜。我想点菜。
我想点菜。
点菜。Oh, yeah. 点菜。Wait. Really? 点菜. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. I forgot. Tone 2. 3 to 2 shifts. 点菜。
听
Oops.
定
I did the same thing yesterday too. 服务员，我们想点菜。
服务员，我们
要
要点菜。
It's a flat. It's 想 and 要. It can both actually be one, but one is lighter than the other. I prefer 想. I hate when people get hostile about the deposit. I tell everybody that sorry, I don't recognize everyone who walks in. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Gotta hold them responsible though. Right? Hold them responsible. 服务员，我们要点菜。
定
定
服
务外
员
服务员菜单
买单。
Oh my god. Say 菜单 and I click on 买单. Okay. It's fine. My brain is working properly. Our semi-regulars get the deposit waived since it's established that they won't destroy and smoke. Yeah. You gotta keep people honest though. And culturally, that's the most appropriate, right? When it comes to that type of thing. Honestly, this might sound a little insensitive, but you have no right to complain if you're not worried that you're gonna get this. Like here's the double standard on deposits. Because of social media, in my opinion, big social media, there is constantly this cynicism where like if you pay first, it's the employer has the like upper hand, the leverage to like, you know, unreasonably and wrongfully charge people something. But the question I think about is the feeling is mutual. Like there's no rapport for that. So the likelihood of someone complaining, in my opinion, just like establishing, if you're hostile in the first place, then the likelihood of having the deposit waived is even less likely. Someone who is initially hostile are more likely to be the people who would require a deposit in the first place, if you know what I mean. They've already self-selected themselves. Like, it would be different if someone was not hostile towards the person, like perhaps inquiring it in a very polite way to establish rapport. It might still not go their way to waive the deposit, but at the same time, the attitude you elicit is poetic because individuals who are hostile initially are the cynical people who would raise trouble. So it's kind of like when someone approaches you and they complain about the deposit, and it's standard, you know, it's standard practice, and you're talking to that person, immediately it's like, dude, I work here, I've seen enough. You are literally the reason why the deposits exist. So if you're asking why and complaining about the deposits, the answer is, in a very, very cold way, look in the mirror. Right? It would be an entirely different story if you go to an establishment and they don't need deposits. That would establish that the clientele and the employer is around and have a clientele that is incredibly agreeable most of the time. So the question is, like as the hostile person, ask yourself why the deposit is necessary in the establishment. And honestly, if you have that type of perspective, it's very humbling, because one would think, oh, I'm part of the problem. As a very like cold-hearted thing when it comes to running a business, especially in the United States. So there's a reason there are common practices like that. I feel like understanding why those practices exist prior to attacking someone who is executing or enforcing, right, underemployment of the standard practices. It's one of those things, like it's a balance between hating someone for doing their job versus overreaching one's own entitlement, which I feel like that's pretty much the company you have just encountered. Exactly, especially if you give attitude, I'm more likely just to tell you to go somewhere else. Yeah. It's not a lose for you per se. They're exacerbating a problem that would more or less escalate their losses. Yeah. And however, there's also this power of social media, right? So I feel like the whole entitlement and stuff can get elevated and exacerbated if one uses, like, sways the power of social media, which oftentimes it's almost tipped a little bit towards against the establishment versus the customer. And that's kind of how I feel about these type of attitudes. It's been escalated because now you have like social media, and businesses don't necessarily want that exposure, but they don't get to choose, and it's not necessarily their fault, right? They are a business, so they have to take that type of risk operating a business. it's kind of a deep cut. I've thought about lots of things before, because my parents no longer operate restaurants. I can't imagine trying to explain to them this day and age, like how operating a business can be incredibly daunting, and in the landscape of social media, and how I would want to say the irresponsibility presented by normalizing influencer behavior. It's detrimental, and I'm not referring to like adults that can have grown up, understand that they run businesses of their own and all that stuff. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about younger people, and those younger people aren't that young anymore. They're like 20s, they're mid 20s and older. Perhaps I'm not like, I don't know how old your clientele was, but it's more frequent now than it's ever been to operate a business. It's really tough. I've had people cuss me out for checking the rooms to return the deposit. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I sympathize. I don't work in hospitality or services anymore. I used to work in food services, and even then it was okay. You know, you have your bad actors and stuff, but nowadays I can't even imagine. Real talk. We'll just throw one last thing out there. It's not just hospitality. The medical field, any medical field that requires to operate services, you know, like nurses, right? Nurses, technicians, emergency care, responders, those peeps like have tanked. Like they've tanked because of very similar things. And it's often routed in what makes what is perceived and normalized as normal behavior or acceptable behavior from social media. And that's kind of unfortunate. Like anyone who offers a service, it can come under attack by any random person, because the social media is the people's defense, and you can filter and do anything on your off time. Meanwhile, people in the medical field have no time for that. There's no one like protecting their image or their PR, right? And that happens a lot. And there's a huge tank in hospitality and medicine and teachers and any form of services in the United States. And I don't know where this is going to go. I'm a little worried, obviously. It's something that I've been keeping track of a lot of times, because I love performing services. That doesn't protect me from getting nailed by any disgruntled person who decides I'm going to go on the internet and I'm going to parade around and paint a target on someone who's offering services. I mean, it's already kind of tough being a low influencer kind of like content creator. That still draws those type of same people every single day. So I don't know who's gonna normalize or counteract the necessary skills. It still goes back to communication, interpersonal skills, and critical thinking regarding like expectations and stuff. Maybe some anger management as well, and emotional control that could probably filter in. So many things on the internet is predicated on unhinged behavior. Like unhinged behavior is sensational. It's normalized. It's overstimulating. The most provocative and sensational and successful people are people who manufacture bigger, badder, or bigger, more exciting, more sensational behavior, right? And it's normalized. So what do you add? Every time you have a conversation with someone, they're like, well, this person like did this, and this country like did this, and well, you don't live in that country. You have to gain some perspective about your contextual understanding. Oftentimes, and I understand that you probably accept that there will be bad actors, right? There will be extreme ups and downs in one's job. However, it's about the overall consistency, right? I think when I'm talking to someone younger who can be very intelligent, but oftentimes when you're having a conversation with them, their expectations are always highlighting the most extreme cases to further their confirmation bias, and then the most favorable cases towards their own argument. That, in my opinion, establishes that expectation that, oh yeah, like I can complain about deposits because so and so never has deposits, and then this person always have deposits and they always cheat their clientele. So that's the internet, in my opinion. A lot of times you only see the extremes. You never see the average boring stuff, like, oh, it's a mixed bag, oh, this is a mixed bag, this is a mixed bag. You know, the overall thing is to try to consistently have a better than average experience over your life. There are going to be rough times and down times. You have to be understandable, right? When you navigate disagreements and expectations, you must temper and be able to connect with both bad and good, you know, above average and below average stuff. And I think nowadays, in hospitality and services, you're going to encounter people who use evidence that is an outlier, not consistency, outlier. Like, oh, this motel, all, like, everyone with a specific political ideology is going to act this way. That is the type of conversation I have so often. Like, oh, everyone who does this always acts this way. Everyone who does that always behaves this way. Like, that type of language, I'm not even sure if I can say anything comfortably like that, where you're constantly so sure that you take the most exceptional examples and make it so that it applies to everyone else. I kind of joke about it a lot of times too. Like, when I talk to Sub-Zero, I'm like, hey Sub-Zero, you know, I want to ask you something about Norwegians. And mark my words, whatever you say represents all of Norway. That's kind of the joke. That's like the standing joke now about the internet, or like people who grew up on the internet a lot of times. And I don't think it's intentional. So it's not like out from the... Oftentimes it's with kindness in mind. Like, oh, don't do this because everyone says this sucks. That's not necessarily malicious. The idea is, if you're constantly overexposed to something, you behave in that way. And most of us have confirmation bias. Like, sometimes when someone says something to me, I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't thought of it that way, because whenever I go online, I get confirmation bias of the same thing. So naturally, I hadn't considered it. Hank Green did a great vlog post about this, when he talked about how he was wrong for a while because he got so used to seeing, oh, this must be true, or like, I trust this source and this must be true. You know, it happens. It's a human condition kind of thing, and it underlies pretty much all the a significant amount of attitude and things geared towards the interaction in the hospitality in services. Let's not forget that content creators and live streamers are service providers. They're not people who will ever be like, hey, you can click on your smartphone and you'll always get the same result. You don't always get the same result from a person who's like doing something out of the generosity. I'm not, you know, some people aren't even being paid to do anything, and then you get up all in their case as though you're expected something. Like, it's pretty shocking how easy it is for someone to come online and say, this stuff is crap. It's like, well, you're not paying for it. Like, how do you have a sense of entitlement? Like, I hurt you for you to voluntarily look at something that you didn't want to know exist. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry that you think that people should pay you for voluntarily using your time with your own excuses. I feel like that's kind of where this is going when it comes to deposits. You know, the common practice when you book that there will be a deposit. So then you arrive at the place to complain about the deposit. And even then, if you behave and do whatever you needed to do respectfully, it's a net like an equal exchange. There's no net loss. So somehow that inconvenience is an entitlement. It's pretty crazy sometimes. Yeah, it's the only person. No way, they're the expert. There's no other credible sources. Yeah, I poke fun of that a lot of times. It does happen quite often. I think advice is often given that way too. Advice, comments, like I don't remember a time. Here's like the biggest deep cut, I would say. When I was growing up, you had to pay for everything. Right? Your sources and all that stuff, you have to pay for it. You have to like somehow, like the deposit, right? You have stake in creating behavior. Like the deposit is an assurance that you do not misbehave or you don't do something that's disagreeable, right? All of that stuff has gone by the wayside. Now we have, in my opinion, a full generation of people who feel like they consume first and then pay later. So if that is the normal operation, then anything they find disagreeable, they're entitled to voice their disagreements because they themselves deserve some sort of reparation for seeing something they disagree with. I think that's probably one of the deeper ones. Like the idea that you can go up to a product, like for example, Duolingo. It's a great example. Live service is a great example. And you go around and say, oh yeah, this really sucks. They should pay me to play this game. Or they should pay me for the damages for misappropriating my time voluntarily. Now, I would meet in the middle and say there are deceptive practices that can attract people unknowingly. And those are the youth, right? Individuals and adults that don't have the necessary ability. Like it's scams, right? Scams and stuff. But these are things that have services. If you're of age, anyone, in my opinion, who's underage, who requires parent supervision, they are not entitled to the protection of the decisions they're making because they're taking responsibility for basically not even reading the terms of service. And yet, in my opinion, a lot of times it's swayed towards their favor because down with corporations. That happens a lot. But whether the corporation can absorb it or not, that's a fair point. When you do this so often, you start treating every other person the same way. So when you see some person who's basically making $0 wanting to share something and they feel like they're entitled to saying, oh, this person sucks, we should cancel them because their existence hurts my own pride and my own ideology. That, in my opinion, is as easy as clicking the dislike button and thinking nothing of it. Like, you don't have to click on anything. You can just leave. You don't even have to see it. Right? But because you saw it, somehow it upset you and you're entitled to some damages. So for catharsis, you click on the dislike button. And that's, in my opinion, it's kind of harsh. But if someone comes up to me and say, oh yeah, I just troll around on the internet and like to show people how much I don't like their stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna slowly back out because I want to be around people who are supportive. So when someone says, oh yeah, I don't really like the way this, maybe I can help them. That's a different story. Like, hey, you know, this stuff really bothers me. Can you, you know, explain, like, rapport, right? This problem solving. Otherwise, their existence can't possibly harm you in some way, but it doesn't stop people from thinking that's the case. So just a slight deep cut, I suppose. I think about this all the time because I sometimes worry. I want, you know, I like educating people, so oftentimes you have to know these things. You have to observe these things and make sure you know where they're coming from. Otherwise, it'd be very hard to connect. You have to understand that they feel offended because a free product didn't meet their expectations. You have to understand where that's coming from in order to associate with them. It's kind of like you, I guess, Blair, trying to somehow reach the people who are complaining about their security deposits, as though it's not your job to enforce it, which is a very, very high tall ask, especially for someone who's performing their job. I'm talking about people who don't even perform a job and getting, so I don't know, sometimes it sounds terrible either way. Crazy. It's the times we live in, really. Perhaps that will change in the future. We don't know what the future holds. And I'm not a, you know, I'm not a social public worker or some sort of a corporate PR guy or something. You know.
我们
Woman. Fictitious. Listen, you need to chill, okay? Don't. I would pay people if I could. Possibly. Maybe in the future. Who knows? If that's what it takes to create an environment, right? It's kind of funny because some people do that. Money. The green stuff.
要买单。
我要买单。
这次
这次我买单。
买单。
谁在房间外？
I need to focus today, so we need to get done before midnight today. I want to talk to someone about interview questions and stuff for jobs. I didn't prepare very well. It's kind of very anyways, 睡在谁在房间外？
我看见了你的孩子，
我看见了你的孩子。
你的孩子。
你找谁？
找谁？
你看见我的手机了吗？
你看见我的手机了吗？Okay, this one's a little weird.
你
看见
我
的手机了吗？
手机了吗？
这是谁的房间？
这是谁的房间？
冰箱里有什么？
冰箱里有什么？冰箱有里什么？
什么？
Oh gosh. 冰箱里 oh whoops I flipped them
你看见他的书了吗？
你看见他的书了吗？
他们都在房间里睡觉。
他们
都
都在
在
房间
里
睡觉。
睡觉。
Go, gotta go fast.
我这次我点菜，
oops
点菜，买单。
Okay. Okay. What's in
冰箱
冰箱有冰箱有 no
冰箱什么
什么
有
对
有什么有
冰箱
里
wait
有
what
里
oh
冰箱
I'm wait a minute
冰里
冰箱里有什么 Jeez I got all swapped around there
请
看
看
请看
看
请
菜单看一下，
请
菜单
看一下 Yeah 请看请菜单看一下 Or is it 请看菜单一下 That sounds better. No, it isn't. Oh, they put tie down at the end? Okay, fair enough. That one, I think it can go many different ways. It still communicates the same idea. But maybe that's the grammatically correct one, I'm sure.
这里
Okay.
这里在
这里
等
在这里等请在这里等 Okay.
冰箱里有什么？
冰箱里有什么？
英文
How did I mess this up? Oh.
冰箱
冰箱里
有
什么？
什么
Probably because it's slid
冰
in
箱里有什么？
Okay.
请
请看一下
菜单。
Okay. All right, 15 minutes. One heart in a dream. Let's go.
儿子
Okay.
桌子
桌子儿子
儿子一会儿桌子
桌子下
孩
子
桌子
儿子Okay.
桌子上
桌子儿子孩子椅子
Okay, 看 Oh, which by the way, fictitious. The Deadpool Wolverine film, really entertaining. There's lots of layers of fun.
看见
I think it's fantastic. It's so polarizing the critics though, like the reviews and stuff. Like what I mean is like the different aggregate scores are like reverse trending. It's really weird. It was quite nice though.
问
When
看往
往
看见，
好久不见
Or what? Deadpool and Wolverine.
看
看见
见
看见
看
I really loved how hardcore meta it was.
看见
It was like non-stop hardcore meta break. So much fourth walling.
哪
It was like they went hard. They went really hard. Nah.
看
看见，
好久不见与
看见
看见
见了
见了。对，看见
看见，
看好久不见
做了，
了
见了，
见了
见了
看见
看见
看见见了
见了 What the heck? Oh. Sorry.
再见
见了，
好久不见
看见，
明天
见。
菜单
That looks so weird. 菜单。菜单。
菜单
菜单
单。Oh.
菜单
I had the wrong stroke order.
菜单
Wrong stroke order.
菜单
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 That's why he do
菜单
this. Stroke order.
菜单菜单
请进，
请进。请进。
请进
请进
This one was fun.
请进
Alright.
请进
We just need to touch all the.
请进
I think there's one more character.
请进
Just to verify the stroke order.
请进
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 请进请进
请进
请进
One more. Ding.
菜单
菜单。
菜单菜单
Oh, I like the stroke order a lot more
菜单
than what I was
菜单
doing. I did the vertical stroke
菜单
before the last one.
菜单
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 Before the last horizontal one.
菜单请进
进。
请进
请进
请进请进
请进
请进
请进请进
请进
请进
Get more
Get more with soup. Okay. Alright.
菜单
菜单。 Done.
菜
菜单，
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 菜单，菜单，菜单，
菜单
菜单，请进，
进，进，
请进，
请进，请进，
请进
I've been looking
请进。
for like really cool
请进，
shirts
请进，
to wear,
请进，
and I saw a couple like
请进，
I don't know, maybe it's like part of my you're growing older or something, but I really want like super colorful shirts for whatever reason. So I saw a bunch of really colorful shirts, and I kind of want I'm looking to see which ones I like more. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because
菜单，
pretty much all of them kind of just reminds you like you're from an island, like a Hawaiian shirt or something. But they're not like necessarily Hawaiian shirts. It's just I don't know. There's something about wearing a really colorful, and we're not talking about like very appropriately colorful. Like, you know how it's like a stripe or partated or something. We're talking about just like lots of different patterns on there. When I think about that type of shirt, stereotypically it would be a Hawaiian shirt, right? And that's why I brought it up, because fictitious.
早菜
菜单，
I'm not an artist, like a practical
菜单。
artist per se, but it's kind of like something.
菜单，菜单，
It's kind of like something that
菜单
an artist's shirt would look
菜
like,
单，
菜单，
or my shirt would look like if I
菜单。
actually did painting and stuff.
菜单，
I don't know. There's something about it. Color, vibrancy, I suppose. Was looking at hats too.
请进，
Maybe some colorful hats.
请
请进，
请进，请进，
请进
The more interesting question
请
is,
进，
do you wear
请进。
colorful shirts,
请
fictitious?
进，
Or are you like somehow
请进，
just one color all the time? I feel like that's kind of overrated now. I generally wear very conservative colors
菜单
because of sticking out and all that.
菜单，
菜单，
Stroke order.
菜单，菜单，
Old habits die hard.
菜单，菜单，
菜单，
菜单，
Depends if I'm planning to go walking out or not. If you go walking out, what happens? Do you wear color when you're walking out, or bright colors when you go out? Okay, yeah. I like bright colors. I think I'm starting to really grow fond of wearing bright colors around people, because I feel like that's also a way you can make people kind of happier in a way. Oh, and it's so cars can see you. Oh, so you're a pragmatist too. Nice. Because it's evening. Oh, okay, when you go out in the evening. I kind of like bright colors in general now. I'm starting to feel it. 做什么？椅子下，椅子下，
椅子下，
椅子下。
做什么？
做什么 ？OK， 做什么？椅子下。Apparently, Wish is supposed to be water backgrounds. Wait, Wish. Oh, watercolor backgrounds. Oh, the movie.
椅子下，
椅子下。 still look weird because the 3D models. Yeah, yeah. Oh, watercolor. Interesting. I didn't quite put that together. I did watch Wish recently. Yeah.
做什么？
做什么？
哪国人？是不是？
是不是？
椅子上。
椅子上。
做什么？
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 椅子下。
做什么？
做什么？
做什？是不是？椅子上。做什么？不知道。椅子下。
椅子下。
So much I find wrong with that movie. Fair enough.
椅子下。
I felt not on top of that the characters really were something.
椅子下。
下。
椅子。
下。
下。
椅子上。
椅子上。
椅子下。哪国人？是不是？做什么？
做什么？
做什？
椅子下。
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 椅子上。
上。
不知道。
不知道。
干什么？
干什么？
做什么？
I can't tell you the names of any of the characters. I don't remember any of the characters' names. Yeah, that's kind of one of the big parts. Like it's not very salient to me. Okay, yeah, magnifico. Yeah, true, true, true.
请进，
请进，进。
请进，
请进，进，我在请进，
请进，请进，
请进，
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 请进。
Come on, give me that last one. 下。 Why?
Why?
Yeah.
下。
下。Why?
Why? 巴里下。
What?
他。
Oh, that 他。
下。
I forgot about that.
下。
Yeah.
Why?
下。
Yeah. Oh. 路。Oops. 路。男。女。All right.
Why? 下。
Why?
Yeah, I agree. Petition. Why?
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 路。南。圆。下。Why?
Why?
下。
下。
六。
国。
那。
Oh, just give me that last one. Touch. Time is a foot.
下个。
椅子下。
椅子下。
下个。I keep forgetting ka at the end of my questions. Yeah, that's understandable. Growing pains.
上个月。椅子下。
椅子下。椅 椅子下
下个
下个下个
下班，
下班
椅子上
上对
椅子下
椅子下
下个
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 椅子下，
下午，
午
椅子下
下
下班，
班
下个
个
椅子上
Oh, give me it. Come on.
下个星
星
期，
Dang it.
下
下个星期 Sure.
下个星期星期日
下
桌子下
下班，
班
下
下个星期
哎
下个星
期
期下
下明
明
星，
星
一下
桌子下
下
下个星
期 I'm still having problems getting like right on the mark, like 做 right away. It takes a bit.
下
Yeah. The other meaning.
下班
下班下 Okay.
上班，
上班
下午，下个月，
月
下
班 Okay.
下
下班
班
下班
下下
下个星期
下班，上班，下午，下
Okay.
Get more
I keep cutting it too quickly. 一下冰箱
冰箱，
一下
一下
冰箱
最近，
最近 Yeah 最近
他的
一下，椅
椅
子，
子
冰箱，
一下一下
对
冰箱
一下，一下，一下，下雨，冰箱，
一次冰茶
冰箱
冰箱
冰椅
Oh my goodness. All right. One heart in a dream. I think that's it. Forward there for today. Couldn't get it, but that's fine. Yeah, this one has very predictable stroke order. All right, so now let's create our diagram again, right? So we're gonna go down and up. I think going down is down and up. So let's create our story. Okay. 我在honestly, I don't remember if it does. I was going to do it anyways. Right. So, 带房间. I don't know the character for that anymore. So we'll have to do a lot of reviewing soon. Okay, for now, go look at oh, you know, we can add something. We can do冰箱有no 冰箱里有什么whoops. Yeah, 冰箱里有什么and we decide to maybe 向往看见了 just to throw in some stuff 看见了oh wait, wrong radicals, just kidding. 向往看见了饭馆 right. Oh, it might be like 看见了 no, that's fine, we're good, that'll be okay. 啊，房子，房子，房子，房子外，maybe 房子外，Oh, no, 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 no. Too fast. Too fast. 定位，定位。房子外 ，nice， 房子外。服务员。服务员。Oops. It's kind of yeah. It's kind of like a mixed bag when you're making a reservation. You probably already know, but that's fine. We'll just say it anyways. Oh, 请问几位？Right, 几位？Just as another practice. Oh, this needs to be closer. 两位。两位。Oh, we can throw in more expressions now. We gotta remind ourselves of this word too. Of this phrase as well. 请等 请 no. No, yeah. 请等请等请等请等请等一下请等一下 Okay. 请进，请进。嗯。Hang on. Kind of like this. I don't remember what the stroke order is. Maybe it's... I feel like there's the horizontal strokes. Alright. Is it 做? Let me... go with...以这里 maybe? Now I'm just making up stuff. 以这里做 以这里做 No, that doesn't make sense. 以这里以这 I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I'm getting a little too stretchy. I think we're just gonna go with... Let's go get our tables, right? I think the way I can confidently express probably something like...桌子 桌子 The heck is 桌子 Oh. Why did my tablet just stop moving sideways? That's weird. So, 桌子 椅子 椅子 坐在在桌，tickets 坐在这里，坐在这里。We can throw in 有 I mean 有how does this work? Yao. Do we have 想? No 想. So, 想 we can throw in 想. Running out of time. 想要英文Whoops. No one will ever know. 菜单想要英文菜单。Well, we could have done this to incorporate some. 想电菜。Right. 电菜。Did I cover all the characters first, though? Let's see. One. Oh. Insert here. Oh, actually, we can just place it here. 叫 Totally forgot. 叫服务员 So 3 4 Actually 5 we have 8 actually. 5. 7, 8. Nine. I'm missing a character. What am I missing? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. I have all of them. Let's just finish up. With last expression.这次I gotta prime it still. 这次我的买单 Okay, I think that's good enough for a review of that. There were a lot of other phrases actually. So where things are, I still didn't incorporate where things are. So technically, so we got 下, but a different 下. We also need 下 for outside, for under. It's different from next. 下. And 上 instead of 上, that 上, you know, 上 for on top. There was another one, wasn't it? Li for inside. Li. Instead of 这里, that's here. I made an error too, and I don't know what the error was. Oh, there's a bunch of like grammar as well. I think some of these cover some of that grammar. Alright, that's good enough for today. There's lots of willy-nilly things going on here. It's not highlighted here either. And I picked up another character that they omitted. And they spammed a lot of other vocabulary words. Okay. This list can be so much larger. Like, but we're just practicing as much vocabulary as we can. Alright. So that's a wrap. Yeah. Take home message. Oh man, take home message. Well, we did talk about a little bit of, you know, the whole expectations thing and entitlement. I think entitlement is there's a very warped perspective on entitlement, and then confirmation bias based on like best case scenarios and worst case scenarios. You have to keep that in mind all the time, especially when you're talking to someone. It's a pretty big giveaway. Like when if you're ever like, let's say you meet someone, right? You meet someone I often do this test or like a test of rapport, right? To establish rapport. Actually, that's not how you spell rapport. It's speaking of rapport, I think that's how you spell it. How the heck do you spell rapport? Oh yeah, that's how you spell rapport. So oftentimes nowadays when you're when you're meeting someone, especially strangers and whatnot, you want to establish rapport, right? But rapport usually comes in the form of questioning. At least in my opinion. I tend to have a lot of like stock questions. And these stock questions allow me to tell and maybe like get some idea of the mindset that I'm talking to. And oftentimes that deals with like how they present information. Present information, and then often I would ask for some sort of explainer. It may be something like how they come about that maybe opinion or something, share some sort of like interest in opinion. And oftentimes this type of thing, I often focus on how they form the opinions and questions and stuff. Oftentimes the actual content, right? I feel a large majority of people focus on the literal information. And oftentimes this literal information dictates if they're interested or not. Interested in the person. So something like they'll ask a question, say like, oh, well, what's your favorite game? Or something like, what is your opinion on something? And oftentimes this would either make or break the it's a selection factor before ever reaching rapport. So this to me is the typical cycle nowadays, where you see someone and you ask them for some literal information like, hey, what's your favorite game? Oh, me too. And then you either confirm or create dissonance by saying, oh yeah, you're interested in something I'm not interested in, and then that's it. That's where it ends. So you have no oftentimes, rarely, vast majority of times, you don't a lot of individuals don't engage in how to establish rapport, right? How to create interest, in my opinion. How to create interest that is less so dependent on what the person knows and does, or like knows, or the specific details of a person, but to create new interests together, new common interest, or like how the person likes something, how and why the person likes something. Because ultimately, if you're focused on establishing a rapport, you're trying to create a connection. So that's how I would prioritize things a lot of times. You question, to ask and explain whatever choices they make. And when focusing on rapport, your interest always exists. Because when you meet someone, there's no rapport to be established. So regardless of the person's interest or not, if your goal is fixated on establishing rapport or connection, you inevitably, at least in my opinion, you would approach most meetings with interest because you have a goal that is independent. So in short form, this type of mindset reinforces a practice of how to create common interest, how to establish questioning and being able to tell and evaluate a person by their person, not by the semantics of whatever they decided that they're interested in the moment, right? This right here is tenuous. It's very temporary for most cases, right? It's like, oh yeah, I really love this game right now. It's like, well, okay, that's cool. So it just so happens both of you like this game right now. That doesn't form any connection other than when the game stops, those people will know interest in each other, generally speaking, because oftentimes they rely on this cycle, and maybe in a blue moon or some happenstance, rapport is established intuitively through the game. However, it's not like it continues from there. It stops there. There's no questioning, there's no interest in the person, right? You don't end up learning. You do learn something about the person if you can intuit from the literal information. It's different from focusing on the aspect of the person. Like, why do you like it? How do you like this? Not that this thing is cool. Like, okay, well, this game is cool. All right, well, that doesn't say as much as this person is cool. Like, the person is cool. Like, oh, hey, this person liked this game in a certain way, and I do too. That kind of thing. Versus this game is cool, and we both think this part of the game is cool. There's very different things. One is directed towards the game. The other is directed towards the person. So when I'm talking about like people who focuses on examples that confirm their suspicions, it's not necessarily going to explain or focus on the person you're talking to, right? So like, this is my example of when two people talk at each other versus with each other. Right? It's a very different aspect. When like the conversations I have with scholarly people, we're talking with each other. We keep adding with each other. We see where the other person's going. We might not see where, like, if you went off track, another person play, oh sorry, I didn't mean to, and then you gear, you know, it's a ebb and flow. You're considering the other person's like direction, and then the other person is considering the other person's direction. You're not talking at each other. Like, oh, I came here to say this. And then someone says something and like, wait, but let me continue with my thing. As in like, okay, I want to say this. And then suddenly you say something else. Like, oh, I get where you're coming from. So, wait, but let me finish. So it's constantly that. And when you get that impression, you listen. That's all I do, right? If this person wants to say their bit, I just let them continue saying their bit. The downside to that is this person's not interested in exchanging ideas and establishing rapport. This person just wants to express their stuff, and that's very appropriate. And that's kind of like this whole loop thing. I'm always focused on behaving appropriately, and in that way, it's not like it's pretentious or anything. It's it becomes second nature. It's part of my routine. So oftentimes you don't get desirable results most of the time. The idea is it doesn't upset you either, quote unquote. Your desire is a reflection of the current situation. And sometimes all of this type of thing, all this thing is secondary. Like this type of communication. Even using different languages is that type of communication. Like learning a foreign language. Well, that doesn't necessarily say it makes up for all of this stuff. Like, sometimes it can help though. Learning a new, so here's my plug for another language, right? when one might be stuck in their ways, like as in they're very conditioned to thinking and speaking a certain way because of the language culture. I still am thinking to yesterday's conversation where someone suggested that there isn't a written thing. That's still a little thing, but at least we can agree that speaking has a cultural impact. So when you might be getting so used to your common language, when you're learning a new language, sometimes it elicits all of this again, like the practice. Like, oh yeah, lots of the language is very indirect, or these are the phrases and you can't make assumptions about these things and presumptions about these things, or you can presume this and that. That is a revisit. So it's a little plug for learning a different language. You can reinvestigate these kind of things. Oftentimes, though, generally speaking, when you internalize language and whatnot, it's dealing with understanding the person you're talking to or the group of people you're talking to. Not, in my opinion, a lot of times, the literal context. It does involve the literal context. Like, it's easy to, in my opinion, it can feel really natural when your mindset is always focused on the context as opposed to reading the person. Like, oftentimes people would say, oh, this is what you do in this situation. And then somewhere in the back of your mind, when you're being argumentative and stuff, it's like, oh, well, it depends on the person. There's obviously individual variations. And to me, my thought is, okay, well, I will remember generalized rules when I remember them. You can share them with me if you want. But in the end of the day, if I enter a conversation with someone, I'm reading the person. I'm going to be talking to the person. All those extra rules may form some form of leaping point or standardization to start. But in the end of the day, with the utmost humility, I much prefer to rely on the situation at hand. As in, like, if I go and meet a Japanese person, I feel like my security, my lack of insecurity when interacting with people is the idea that I spend most of my time interacting with people and interacting with the situation, not necessarily trying to remember 8 billion rules or however many rules that seem to overwhelm people a lot of times about, oh yeah, you must do this, you must do this. The natural inclination is you are talking to a person, or you're talking to many people. And sometimes it can be like a language, right? Communication is a skill that can become fluent in my opinion. You can become, quote unquote, fluent and practiced in the art of communicating with someone, regardless of the language you're using. However, knowing the language can impart a lot of that. It can make you rethink how you're communicating it with your common language. You can compare and contrast English, the cultural impact on English versus the cultural impact on Japanese. And that includes writing, in my opinion. I'm still kind of manic about someone suggesting that some sort of like English-speaking countries, when they are writing, there's no cultural difference. My writing is legitimately I write in English, and it's legitimately affected because I am not, my parents are not, English speakers, right? Multicultural people have addiction to it. It's interesting that came from someone who is interested in teaching English as a foreign language. I think that is a heavy misconception, in my opinion. I maybe I'm completely talking out of my butt here, but I don't necessarily agree wholeheartedly if someone is presenting that says you can teach English as a foreign language exactly the same way you teach English not as a foreign language. And that when they're writing, it constitutes as a cultural indifferent. Like, there's not a cultural difference. As in, when you go and teach English as a foreign language, you would teach it exactly the same way that you would teach people who grew up with English. And then in through that, I mean, in my opinion, it would suggest that because in the end, English speaking countries and those who write English have very little cultural difference. I firmly disagree with that, but hey, I'm just a casual writer, I suppose. And this is kind of also part of that mindset where you're not adapting necessarily to the person. You don't want to adapt to the person. You want to find many ways to make things objectifiably consistent, right? If you like FromSoft games and two people like FromSoft games, that is enough to establish that they probably like similar things. I would wholeheartedly find that very presumptuous. It's pretty much the bane of most of the reductive simplification of human behavior and communication now. Like, oh, well, if you use Anki, you will probably have more natural Japanese because the people that you download decks from will likely have native Japanese samples, and that would ultimately that's the kind of thing. It's like it's probably true for sure, but that doesn't say that all the other things are not, valid, useful. Can't stay for long, but yeah, part of our core training as writing titles in undergrad was making us aware of the different writing tendencies, different cultures, that are in writing and within one language as well, right? Like, I'm shocked that someone would say that culture does not affect any a very specific language, and the person actually suggested that it's English. So it's English. So it's kind of like speaking English. I just don't think someone will write and structure English quite substantially different from their background. But I guess maybe it's not substantially different enough in the sense they're quantifying. I don't really have enough details on how they quantified what constitutes as different. So that we could be aware of the recurring errors we're seeing weren't errors. Yeah, writing tutors. I can't with typing on. No worries. I'm about to end today. It was great time. I just wanted to make a ending message about being aware that language, communication, and stuff, it deals with people, right? And I don't think it should be a point of insecurity. It's fun. I want people to use their language or the language they're learning to discover people. Discover people, not rules per se, not like rules detached from people. Like, oh, this is what everyone does. This is what people does. And then in the back of your mind, whenever you want to make a counter argument, you're like, oh, well, it depends because of individual variability. I'm like, yeah, well, you can also develop skills and ways to account for being a lot more consistent with individual variabilities, right? It's certainly daunting at first, and I certainly don't feel like it's beyond you need a special skill or some level of charisma or talent to be able to approach this. So I have no concerns in my opinion for myself, but I do have some concerns about individuals who feel that you can compartmentalize human interaction in a way that makes them very uncomfortable when people go off script. And usually the way they would go about it is if it goes off script, they stick to the script. Constantly stick to the script. So for better or for worse, hopefully those people find enough friends and family that stick to the script, to their script, right? I personally find it interesting all the same. I would not back out of investing in someone because it's a personal challenge. What if I bumped into someone who's very disagreeable or very aggressive, like communication wise, right? If they're willing to communicate, then I'm willing to learn how to communicate. It's like gaining more experience. Surrounding myself with entirely agreeable people, certainly that would be ideal for a lifetime. However, that isn't necessarily going to help me develop my communication skills, right? It's kind of like language learning. If you're constantly always learning the same amount of the same number of vocabulary that you've known for a while, do you really truly expect that eventually you're not going to hit a glass ceiling, or you're going to become complacent and become lazy, right? Quote unquote complacent, right? With your abilities and whatnot. You can choose when you want to. You can mark your finish line arbitrarily if you want, kind of like the other person who suggests the mastery of a language. You can choose when that happens. It is your choice. For me, outside of language learning, I mean, I still consider language learning uncapped, right? Uncapped. But this is the core of learning language. It's the interest of constantly trying to be able to ask, extract information, and understand the nuances of other people. I'm learning another language means that I have access to a whole new community or bigger community of ways to improve my communication skills or expand my communication skills. I could bring a cultural communication from a different group into my group now. So like what I mean is understanding how Chinese people and Japanese people may communicate may expand my perspective. So then if just so happens someone who speaks English, right, is more receptive to the way Japanese people and Chinese people speak, then you can actually execute that with English. The way that other person would present it, they would suggest, no, that's not something that happens. And I'm like, I disagree. When you read an English novel written by a Japanese person, it is incredibly, noticeably different, in my opinion. Now, if they're concerning with the actual mechanics of the English, then I guess I can agree that if they're writing in grammatically correct sentences and all that, it may still have the same structure. But the tendencies and stuff do not. The diction does not. So, I don't know. Just food for thought. I might be just too ignorant right now, or like not competent enough to appreciate what was being said or what was being taught. So for now, keep learning your language, but honestly, I really highly encourage people, like, I think the last stage in language learning is to use the language, right, to communicate with a body of people. And I often think the insecurity or the feeling of being overwhelmed often is maybe strongly and significantly affected by one's lack of communication, like lack of participating in literal communication, like even before learning the language. Your common language, if one is already having problems associating and communicating and establishing rapport between people using your native language or whatever language you prefer to speak, I would say that is likely to supersede all the language you're actually learning in your target language, because all that underlying insecurities and practice will be likely exacerbated by not being familiar with a foreign language. There are some silver linings. Sometimes some people who are insecure when they are from they're in a compromised position and they don't really know what other people are saying, it might actually make them feel a little bit more comfortable, you know, like the ignorance is bliss kind of thing. With that said, I feel like that's a rarer case. Most of the time, if you're already having insecurities, doing like bootstrapping based on like semantics of a person as opposed to trying to communicate actively in a conversation and responding to that, that type of practice can be done with your common language. It can be practiced with your, you know, with your native language, and that is worth the time, in my opinion. And ultimately, I actually think that may contribute to the openness and ability to understand semantics and even like develop a pattern and be more observant, right? If you're looking at a podcast or a vlog between people in a target language, the question is, can you even notice it and all the patterns and stuff in your common language and your native language? Because I would say, conservatively, I think the vast majority of people do not pay attention to that. They have an active filter that sees what they want to see and focus on the things that interest them, as opposed to what is happening between people or how people interact. It's not a necessary skill, in my opinion, for everyday life and whatnot. If you're speaking a native language, right, you get what you want, you express your own interests. You don't necessarily, as long as you don't like pick a fight with your boss or something, you don't necessarily require a high level of active observation in conversation. However, one can really benefit, in my opinion, when you're learning a target language, when you're observing that and you're saying, oh, I understand that they say this stuff, they say that stuff, and then I'm observing those things. That also comes from, that's also limited by how well you observe those things. And if you can't already do it in your native language, then likely you will have a higher propensity to misinterpret what you're observing in your target language, because now you're in a foreign cultural thing, maybe lacking empathy and lacking competence. I can definitely say that from my experience, I'm fairly average, maybe slightly above average when it comes to doing this kind of thing, because when I was younger, I was pretty terrible too. Like, I don't understand, I couldn't read people's body languages, and like a lot of times I was so caught up in my own head that it's definitely easier to just stay alone, do everything alone, as opposed to interacting with other people. And in this day and age of parasocial dominant relationships and self-study and all that, it's very logical and rational, not in a malicious way, to expect that a vast majority of people who may be learning a new language and also using their common language online already lacks the underlying necessity to make acquiring a language maybe more enjoyable. So, my take-home message is, go out there, live in the moment sometimes, observe in a way that you can participate in, right? Oh, hey, you notice this guy keeps saying these words and whatnot. I think learning a new language does help. Like, you will become more attentive and try to. But think about if you're doing that in your native language already, right? What you can learn from learning a new language, you can also bring it back to your common language, your native language. And I think that's one of them. And I love that. I absolutely love that. It is so fun watching Japanese people interact, like, versus English speaking people interact. And then so on and so forth. Or an English person interacting with a Japanese person. There's so much detail in there. And that may be very time consuming and unnecessary, it certainly is one of my hobbies. So if you like what I say or what I enjoy about language learning, then feel free to join the club. At least that's my 2 cents. All right, folks, that's a wrap. Hopefully tomorrow the stuff flows better. I'm going to continue. I haven't decided how I'm going to fit Shashinko in, because I'm also doing a series on elemental evils. And I kind of want to do it again. So maybe I'm going to try to fit it in and do 4 things in one day. I have no idea that. But for now, I'm going to head off, rest, be back tomorrow, right? Until then, if you're going to watch this later, 谢谢. Right. And 明天见, perhaps, or 再见 for now. And take care, right? Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye now.